Okay, guys, today we're going to look at a problem about volume. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, you took your very first math benchmark test, and question 30 on that test was all about volume. And this is really messy math at its best. There's so much information, so many things that you need to think about as you went through each part of this, attempting to answer this question. Now, a lot of you left it blank because you didn't have enough information about volume. But now that we have made it almost the whole way through the volume unit, let's go back and look at this question. And I think you'll be able to figure out a lot of it that you couldn't do before. Okay, so let's look at the story that starts out in this problem. So it says, a warehouse owner rents storage units on a monthly basis. He has one rate for each cubic foot of volume in the storage unit. So what do I know from that part? Well, I know that they're storage units and he rents them. And when it says he has one rate for each cubic foot, that means he has a price for every cubic foot of volume. So we have to figure out how much volume is in these storage units before we can figure out how much he's going to charge me to rent one of them. So part A says, complete the table below to find the volume of each storage unit in the warehouse and the cost of monthly rent for each unit based on the volume. Okay, so on the left here, we have the dimensions of the floor. So this is like the base area of the floor of the unit. And then in the second column, we find out how high each unit is. So we have our length and our width and our height in order to figure out the volume. So we know that volume is length times width times height. So 360 came from 6 times 6 times 10, which is 360. So for each of these other sections in this third column, we need to do the multiplication for volume. So we need to do 6 times 10 times 10. And when we do that, our answer is 600. And then for the next one, 6 times 15 times 10. Well, 6 times 15 is 90, and then times 10 is 900. Okay, we can skip the next one because the answer is already given to you, but 12 times 12 is 144, times 10, put a 0 on the end of it, is 1,440. 12 times 15 is 180, times another 10 is 1,800. 12 times 20 is 240, times 10 is 2,400. 12 times 24 is 288, so times 10 is 2,880. So that's how you find the volume for each of the different storage units in cubic feet, multiplying the length times the width times the height of each storage unit. Now, the final column here is the monthly rent. And we talked earlier that it's one rate for each cubic foot of volume in the storage unit. Okay, well, if it's one rate for each cubic foot, I need to use the information that I'm given, little clues that I'm given here and here, and use them with the volume in order to figure out what is the rate per cubic foot. So if I'm trying to break this down into 1 cubic foot, I need to take the price, the rent, and I need to divide it by all the cubic feet to figure out what 1 cubic foot is. Okay, so I'm going to pause for 1 second here. Okay, ready to go. So in order to do this, I'm going to pull up a little calculator here because we're using our calculator here in volume. So what I need to do is I need to determine what $46.80 divided by the full cubic feet of area and find out the price per cubic foot. So apparently the price for each cubic foot is 13 cents. Okay, so $0.13. So let's double check that, okay? So we're gonna work backwards here. I'm gonna clear this. Okay, so 360 times 0.13. Sorry, go back. 360 times 0.13 or 13 cents. equals $46.80. And we know that it's money, so we need to have 2 digits after the decimal point. So at the end, we're going to annex a 0, so that's 80 cents. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go through each of these volumes here in the third column and multiply it times 13 cents in order to get our monthly rent. So we're going to do $600 times 13 cents, and we're going to get $78. So we need to fill in $78 for that price. Okay, and then we're going to keep doing that and find out all the prices. So 900 cubic feet times 13 cents is $117. So we have $117. Okay, let's go back and look at our next one. Okay, we can skip 1,440 because it's already done for us. We can check it if we want to, just to make sure it is following along. Yep, $187.20. So we're going to go to 1,800 times 13 cents, and we're going to get $234. Okay, and then 2,400 cubic feet times 13 cents is $312. And our final one, 2,880 cubic feet times 13 cents equals $374.40. So there is how much we would have to pay per month for each of those storage units. Okay, we took the monthly rent, divided it by the cubic feet in order to find the rate or price per cubic foot, which was 13 cents. So then we took for each of the remaining volumes, we multiplied the volume in cubic feet times 13 cents to find out the final price. Okay, so when you go to part B, the question said, show or explain how you determine the volume and the monthly rent of a 12 by 24 storage unit. So if you're going to explain this, you would have to write out the entire process that you went through. If you're going to show it, then you would have to show the math. So for this one, you would have to show your multiplication of 12 times 24. So for our first line, we would have 48, then our placeholder 0, and 4 and 2, and we would get 288 square feet for the floor of the storage unit, and then we would have to take 288 times 10, and we would get, which is 288 times 1 with a 0, and we would get our volume of 2,880 cubic feet. Then we would have to show or explain how we figured out that it was $374.40 for the monthly rent. Okay, if we're going to explain it, we would have to write out the process of taking 2,880 times 13 cents in order to get that amount. Okay, if we're going to show it, then we also need to do 2,880 times 13 cents. And remember, ignore the decimal point. Placeholder 0, 0, 8, 8, 2. And when we add this up, I'm going to run out of space, guys, sorry. There we go. We end up with 37440, and then we have 2 digits after the decimal point, so 2 digits after the decimal point, which gives us our final answer of $374.40. Okay. If I were going to explain that, I would have to write out in words every step that I just showed with my work. But you have a choice there to show or explain your work. For part C, the question said, a different warehouse owner rents L-shaped storage units with 2 connecting rooms. The rates charged for each cubic foot of space are the same for the 2 warehouse owners, which means that the rate is still 13 cents. Complete the table below to show the volume and monthly rent for the L-shaped storage unit. Okay, so according to this chart, the length and width of the first room of the storage unit is an 8 by 5 room. So length is 8, width is 5 feet. The other room is a 12 by 5, so 12 feet long, 5 feet wide. The height for both of them is 10 feet. So we'll call this one room A and this one room B. We have to find the volume for room A. So room A is going to be 8 times 5 times 10, which when we solve that, 8 times 5 is 40, times 10 is 400 cubic feet. Room B is 12 by 5 by 10, length, width, and height. Okay, so when you solve that, 12 times 5 is 60, times 10 is 600 cubic feet. So room A is 400 cubic feet, room B is 600 cubic feet. In order to find the total volume, I need to add those two together. So I have to do 400 plus 600, and I get 1,000 cubic feet. Now, if the rent is the same that are being charged, it's 13 cents. So I need to take 1,000 times 13, and I get $130 in rent for the L-shaped storage unit. So I hope that helped explain that, and that type of messy math seems a little bit easier. If you have any questions, please come and ask me. You can go ahead and put away your computers and move to your next activity.